Back in the 70s, people were still using rudimentary methods of communication, especially within the village setting. Using drums as a means of information dissemination, especially during death, running errands, and moving from village to disseminate important information was familiar. Even though letter writing was very predominant, it took longer for the post to deliver mail. Usually, people in rural areas had no mailboxes, so they relied hugely on hand-to-hand delivery. Or better still, the elementary school was used as a mailing address. That's precisely what was obtainable in the Catholic school Kumba. The mail van passed once or twice a month and, upon passing, dropped and picked up mail. Therefore, imagining that Smith's dad brought a letter that would distort his son's destiny may sound strange but unsurprising. Perhaps Pa Asume may have thought to read the letter, but he had only Standard 2 education more than 50 years back, and therefore nursing that idea was fruitless. Welcome to the third episode of Storytelling on the CA Network. Join us every Friday at 5 p.m. as we recount life experiences from an unpublished manuscript titled The Driver. We want to thank our participants and new subscribers as we walk this journey of bringing to life past experiences most of us lived and continue to do so. We are open to suggestions as we walk through this journey. Many viewers may not have lived these experiences, but we bet your parents did. Besides, life is a continuous process. But since we live in the era of social media, no drastic changes have occurred. Roads are still bad, like in the 70s, even worse. We eat the same food and carry out the same daily activities. Human nature doesn't change the effects humans have on their environment. If you are joining the CA network for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Everyone's contribution is appreciated. Let's move ahead right away. What mattered to Smith after Pa Asume left was to eat his mother's delicacies. He invited 2 of his friends to join him and partake. After eating, he waited for his friends to leave his sight before he sought to know the letter's content. Dear brother and friend, the last time I was home, we had a long conversation. You still remember the importance of that discussion, considering how difficult life continues as days pass by. I hope your father finally raised money to pay your fee and you have resumed school. What concerns me now is not being at home or continuing school but joining me in Kumba. The distance between our village and Kumba is about a 2-hour drive, but the opportunity gap is significant. Because everything good ends in the cities. Look at the timber exploitation companies, look at cocoa and coffee buyers. The government decides when to buy and how much they are ready to pay the farmers. Therefore, we produce what we don't consume and have no say over what to do with the produce. The more reason you almost didn't go to school last year. We had dreams, and if we had plans from childhood, we may never achieve those plans following the expected path. Going to school is regarded as a path for every child, but achieving success through that path is not for everyone, especially those from rural areas. Pestering my father each year was taking a toll on him. I couldn't bear it. I had to drop out and come to Kumba. I have overcome the challenge. What I went through as a newcomer. So it's time you join me in making money by becoming a driver. If driving is not suitable for you, you can learn a trade. Acquiring an education is good, but if you want to get rich and be helpful to your community, be a businessman. Here in Kumba business, people own the best cars, all the trucks and lorries. They have the best houses and shops. They create employment and don't seek employment or depend on the government. Oh, the pride of being a driver. Remember how men know rest. Spaceman, SMOG, and all foreigners have control of the transportation business. Kumba doesn't need a formal introduction to the business hub of our province, the capital of our division, the largest and the most populated in the southwest province. What would you want that you wouldn't find? I do not want to talk much, my friends await your arrival. Wait at the park on Saturday. Whenever you make up your mind, I have already instructed SMOG, the vehicle that brought this letter will pick you up anytime. We will be waiting for you. However, if you choose not to come, remember you will lean on your parents for survival, and never forget what Grandpa Patrick told us when we were kids: any system that educates you to forget about your tradition and culture, something is wrong with it. The white man's education system is dependent. Once you embrace it, you can never be free from it. What a boy, Smith told himself, a promise he made years ago that he is still determined to fulfill. Acquiring education demands submission, sobriety, perseverance, and being prepared to receive all kinds of insults. The result is making a living, which going to school promises but doesn't guarantee. Thus, many learn but die poor. Imagine that around our school, no tutor can boast of owning a car they acquired due to their profession except assisted by their relatives who didn't even receive any good education. Have I any reasons to ignore this genuine and realistic decision? I have suffered enough. My parents may die without benefiting from the fruit of their labor if I should choose that path of academic goals. Many parents have died frustrated their children were unable to assist them, while others make money and others struggle in vain, claiming they are going to school. After battling hard with either giving up school and pursuing an independent career or staying in school and not falling prey to what every parent would say their son has embarked on a wrong and misleading path, Smith decided it was time he acted. As night fell, Smith began to put together his belongings. "What are you doing?" Mosima, one of his roommates and friend, asked. "Come this time tomorrow, there's a possibility I may stop being a student of your institution. My father came here this morning and brought a letter from my brother which ordered me to meet him in Kumba, that great city. He already arranged for SMOG. Are you sure he has got a chance for you to go to school there? We are almost a month into the term, and gaining admission to another school will be challenging. You may have to lose this year. That is constructive, but it matters least. I do not care much about attending school this year. If I should reach there and having a school proves problematic, I merely remain calm and wait for next year. Running never terminates a journey, my father always tells me. The following year would be okay. If I didn't find one, I would use the opportunity to get acquainted with the environment and city life. It would be best if you gave us a goodbye treat, Ba suggested. I'm not as tight-fisted as you. I had that plan in mind. Before I forget, is Rose aware of your plan to travel? Ba asked. Real men don't go on adventures to the knowledge of their wives, let alone girlfriends, my father used to tell me. I know you have been eyeing my girlfriend, you have the chance to win her over. I no longer constitute a stumbling block, Smith said. They all laughed. That's being heartless, Smith, Mosima said. I thought you both were in love. Even if you leave her to someone else, she deserves your goodbye. You never can tell where you will meet her again. We will rekindle the relationship whenever we meet again if she doesn't become Ba's wife or someone else. Mosima and Ba led Smith to the park very early the next day. They ate a hot breakfast of fufu and arua and drank a beer each. Then Smith gave them 5,000 CFA to share. We will miss you, Mosima said. You are a great friend. I appreciate it, but tell Ba to take it easy with Rose. That's a nice girl. I wouldn't make that innocent girl a subject for discussion this morning. You are going to Kumba, a city with thousands of beautiful girls and many schools, but you may hardly meet another girl like Rose, Ba said. The battle is mine, there are good and bad girls everywhere. One can hardly determine a girl's goodness in this local environment. SMOG pulled over the muddy road about 45 minutes after they finished eating. Smith briefly conversed with the driver and jumped into the car. To Smith's surprise, he sat by someone from his village.